The Power of the Daleks, Episode 1. The day had started badly. In the console room aboard the TARDIS lay a disorientated body, racked with pain. It was me, in an earlier regenerative form. It was also the time of my first regeneration, the event that is both a blessing and a scourge of the Time Lords of Gallifrey. Some Time Lords are able to proceed through their allotted 12 lives with grace, dignity, and elan, growing older and wiser and more handsome with each change. Others are less fortunate, as my first metamorphosis proved. One moment, a distinguished, white-haired gentleman, and the next, well, not what I would have wished for myself, but at least I was alive. Just.
Look at it!
He's breathing. The TARDIS seems to be normal.
Then what are we going to do? We can't just leave the doctor there.
For him? The doctor?
Well, that's who came through the doors. There was no one else outside. Ben, remember what he said in the tracking room? Something about this old body of mine is wearing a bit thin.
So he gets himself a new one?
Well, yes.
Do me a favour.
Then whatever happens in here.
But it's impossible!
So long ago we'd have been saying that about a lot of things.
Unable to focus, and with my head spinning, I eased myself first onto an elbow and then into a sitting position. I somehow had to stop the pain before my head burst. In desperation, I clasped my skull and tried to wring the agony from my mind.
Concentrate on one thing! One thing!
Slowly, I began to regain control. The pain eased, and I was able to focus on the concerned faces of Ben and Polly, my traveling companions.
It's over.
I scrambled to my feet, crossed unsteadily to the console, and set the controls.
Doctor?
I should have answered my companion, but I was now obsessed in searching for a mirror so that I might examine my new face. As I crossed the room, I tripped on the hem of a long cloak I was wearing. At least I'd learned one thing. My regeneration had left me with a smaller physique. And as though to endorse this fact, the ring slipped from my finger and rolled across the console room floor. Now, even more impatient to see my face, I untangled myself from the cloak, only to find that the rest of my clothes were also too large. I now looked like a clown, in a baggy black jacket and equally ample check trousers. To this day, I shall never understand why I ever thought such an ensemble was acceptable garb for a Time Lord. Finding a mirror, I held it up and inspected my face.
Muscles are still a bit tight. What are we going to do?
It is the doctor, I know it is. I think.
It's not only his face that's changed, he doesn't even act like him. Come on, it's time we sorted this out. Now look here. Oh, that.
I handed Ben the mirror, and through a trick of Gallifreyan optics, I was able to compare my current physiognomy with my former regenerative self. Although it lacked the character of my current good looks, it wasn't as bad as I'd expected.
Have you done with this?
Put it down.
Now what's the game? Ah!
I assumed that because of the instability of my mind, I had taken an inordinate interest in the contents of a drawer. Not only did it contain an ornamental dagger, a fragment of Dalekanium, a magnifying glass, a diary of inordinate length, but also a musical instrument, which until that moment I thought I'd loathed. With the exception of the dagger, I placed the articles in various pockets of my coat.
The Crusades. Saladin. The Doctor was a great collector, wasn't he?
But you're the Doctor.
Oh, I don't look like him.
Who are we?
Don't you know? Extermination.
I examined my nails under a magnifying glass.
Ah. Oh, very good. Nails need growing.
Now look, the Doctor always wore this, so if you're him, it should fit now, shouldn't it?
Ben handed me the ring I had dropped, but it still didn't fit, and again slipped from my finger.
There, that settles it.
I'd like to see a butterfly fit into a chrysalis case after it spread its wings.
Then you did change.
Life depends on change and renewal.
Oh, so that's it. You've been renewed, have you?
I've been renewed, have I? That's it. I've been renewed. It's part of the TARDIS. Without it, I couldn't survive. Come here. The Doctor kept a diary, didn't he?
Yes.
Thought so. I wonder where. I wonder where.
It's a very different Dr. Ben.
Yeah, maybe. Just where do we stand, though?
Finding the diary, I then took out the recorder and started to play, while at the same time shuffling around the room in what passed for some form of primitive dance.
Doctor, what's going to happen to us?
I think we must have landed for some time. I think it's time we went for a stroll.
But you don't know where we've landed!
No, and you haven't checked the oxygen or the temperature or anything.
Oxygen density 172, radiation bill, temperature 86. Strong suggestion of mercury deposits. Satisfied, Ben? Now, are you two coming or are you not?
He does know, as he said. Ben, didn't you hear him?
Yeah, I heard. But he might just have been copying you, though, mightn't he?
I emerged from the TARDIS reading the diary I had found. As regeneration plays such havoc with the memory, I had hoped it might offer information concerning the activities of my former self. Unfortunately, the diary covered a period of 500 years, more, I feared, than a casual bedtime read. If I hadn't been so involved in its contents, I might have more readily noticed the gruesome terrain around me. Misty and barren, with bleak rock formations, there were pools of deadly mercury everywhere. Occasional geysers fitfully spurted the silver liquid into the air.
Are you coming, you two?
I might have been less blasé about summoning them if I'd known what lay ahead. While waiting for my companions to join me, I had noticed a particularly interesting outcrop of plutonic igneous. Slipping the diary into a pocket, I removed a tape measure from another and started to examine the magnificent piece of granite.
Time I put you through some tests, I think.
But a sudden call put an end to further thoughts of geology.
Hello!
Is there anyone there? Hello!
I was just about to hide when
Why don't they come? Ah, so you've come at last. I'm from Earth. I'm the Examiner.
But he had no sooner uttered these words when a shot rang out, and the man collapsed. Quickly, I looked round for the gunman, but could see no one. Without thought of danger to myself, I was very irresponsible in those days. I crossed the open ground to where the wounded man lay, only to find that he was dead. Gunshots and a dead man within 2 minutes of arriving on a new planet usually recommend a hasty departure. But as I was about to return to the TARDIS, I noticed a badge on the dead man's jacket. Carefully, I unfastened it and read,
Earth Examiner. Accord every access. Vulcan.
Further consideration of the badge was interrupted by a call from Ben.
Doctor, where are you?
I was just about to reply when a pain as sharp as a pteroleptil's hunting knife danced across the cortex of my brain. Then everything went black. Whoever had killed the Examiner had just knocked me unconscious. What's more, before departing, my assailant placed a button from a uniform in my hand. An old but reliable exercise in obfuscation. When buttons are found at the scene of a crime, look not for the owner, but who placed it there. Meanwhile, in another part of the swamp, I later learned Ben and Polly had had their own problems.
Oh, and it hot.
Do you think the air's like this everywhere?
Nah, might be just round here. Don't want too many lungfuls of it, I know that. Yeah, when I was a kid, we used to live opposite a brewery. You could take a walk and get tipsy all in one go.
It's beautiful.
Oh, don't touch it, Polly.
I wasn't going to.
That's quicksilver. It gets through the pores. Where is that doctor or whatever he is got to? What's the matter? Hey, Polly! Hey, doctor, wherever you are, quick! There's something happened to Polly!
While gazing at a pool of mercury, Polly had been caught by a jet of toxic vapor. As she collapsed, Ben had rushed to her aid, but he too had been overcome by fumes.
Doctor!
As consciousness slipped from his mind, he saw a white-suited, masked man step from behind a rock. In my part of the swamp, I too had had a similar visitation. Feigning unconsciousness, I listened to the conversation between Bragan and the younger man known as Quinn.
Ah, Quinn, there you are. What have you got there?
My people have found 2 more of them by one of the pools. This one's got a nasty bruise on the back of his head. Fallen over his feet and knocked himself out, I suppose.
I suppose so.
Why don't they use the kit we send them?
Yes. The other 2 have had a rather bad dose of fumes. The girl has anyway.
Girl.
Yes.
But she'll recover. These comic opera guards of yours do have some uses after all. I picked them for their physical fitness. I thought it wasn't for their IQ. Give me a hand with the Examiner, will you?
I wonder why Earth has chosen to send an Examiner to Vulcan. Just now, I mean.
I don't know.
It's a mystery, isn't it? He isn't due for another 2 years.
How do you feel? We saw your rocket overshoot the landing area.
Hey?
Don't worry. Most of the ships from Earth do overshoot. I'm Quinn, Deputy Governor.
Bragan, head of security.
Let's get them all back, shall we? I'll take the girl.
Here, you 2. Help carry the Examiner. I suppose you Earth people can't wait to examine Lesterson's space capsule.
I had yet to learn who Lesterson was, but I did know he wasn't pleased by the news Janley brought him.
Look at this. They've just brought in an Examiner from Earth and a couple of assistants.
An Examiner? What's he here for?
I thought you'd know.
It's the capsule. It must be. Well, they can't stop me working on it, I'll tell you that.
Could anyone?
The governor's always been difficult about it. Well, they wouldn't send somebody all the way from Earth, just...
Look, what about the meeting?
Meeting?
Yes, I've arranged everything. Can we still use the old rocket room?
Yes, I suppose so. But I do wish you wouldn't get mixed up with these pressure groups, Janley.
Well, somebody has to do something. The colony's running down and you know it.
I'm too busy.
Well, if we ran things, you'd have better facilities, more money. I wish you'd take an interest.
Now, look, I don't mind letting you have the use of one of my rooms now and again, generally, but don't try to involve me. This is what I find important. 200 years in a mercury swamp, and this piece of metal had dropped from it. Look, a couple of minutes polishing, and it's as good as new.
Wonderful.
Rain, damp, heat, mercury. Nothing touches this metal. No corrosion, Janley. Think of that.
Well, I hope the examiner lets you go on with your experiment. Frankly, I doubt it. I think the governor's brought the examiner here to stop you opening the capsule. You should join our group, Lesterson. You might need us one day.
Meanwhile, we had been taken to a rest room. But instead of resting, I had decided to persecute my companions.
So the murdered man was the real examiner. Well, didn't you see who did it?
The doctor got this button, though.
No, I think he's pretty dull round here. I don't know why we don't just go back to the TARDIS.
Doctor, are you going to let them think you're the real examiner? Well, won't that be dangerous?
Look, why don't you stop blowing that thing and talk to us properly?
Ben!
No, don't you start. It's bad enough with him.
He hasn't done anything.
No, that's just the trouble. He knows what happened back at the TARDIS, yet will he tell us? Will he come out and say? Will he admit to being the doctor? Come in!
I am Hensel, the governor. I trust you're all feeling much better.
I felt worse, Governor. Governor?
If Earth had seen fit to warn us you were coming, we might, possibly, have been able to guide you down to the landing area.
If Earth didn't warn you we were coming, Governor, they must have had a very good reason. I wonder what it was.
Now look here, I run this colony. I'm entitled to know why you've come to Vulcan. What is your brief?
I am the examiner.
Why are you here?
To examine. And I intend to start my examination at once.
Someone's leaked reports about these rebel groups. That's it, isn't it?
Your turn now, Governor. There is Lesterson's capsule.
Internal affairs are my business, Bragan. Please don't interfere.
Please go on.
The capsule. It was found in a mercury swamp. It must have been here for centuries.
Interesting. Continue.
For centuries before the Earth colony arrived, I felt it might be dangerous. It might contain bacteria.
I shall examine the capsule later. You may leave us.
I shall look forward to your report. Bragan, see that the examiner and his party get some proper clothes, will you?
We are wearing proper clothes.
Oh, how did he get that thing back again? That was a bit of a cheat, wasn't it? Seeing if the governor was the guy that you got the button off.
Doctor, when he was talking to you, you were staring at the other man.
Yes. Very rude of me, wasn't it? Terrible manners. To tell you the truth, I was studying his reactions, seeing if he agreed with the story.
Did he?
Just have a look at that capsule.
You know, you want to watch you don't take this examiner stuff a bit too far.
Answers must come from that mercury swamp.
Because at least one bloke ain't going to be fooled.
When Bragan found us, he definitely said space capsule.
Look, you're not going to fool the guy that did the real examiner in.
In a nearby corridor, the plot had started to thicken.
Bragan! What's all this nonsense about having to have a pass to see the examiner?
It's the governor's idea.
Surely it doesn't apply to me.
It's not my order, Quinn. I expect the governor wants to keep people away from him.
It sounded like one of your red tape ideas.
It has nothing to do with me.
Right.
Oh, God.
Sorry, Janet.
My fault.
You all right?
Yes. Lesterson's just cleared me out of his lab. Is the examiner going to let him open the capsule?
I don't know. I'm on my way there now. If I can push past Bragan's army of layabouts.
Accompanied by Ben and Polly, I decided to pay Lesterson's laboratory a visit. I was very keen to see the capsule the governor had mentioned. But instead, I found an even more interesting piece of metal, which I decided to borrow.
Where did you get this?
It dropped from the capsule. Dropped? Yes, but it was being hauled into the laboratory. But you can see, this metal could revolutionize space travel. That's why I'm insisting that we open it. Well, who knows what other marvels there may be inside.
But Lesterson, I didn't think you could open it.
Well, I have a theory. I'm convinced that the opening mechanism on the other side is either here or here. Now, my theory is that I can insert a laser ray in this ridge here. The ray spreads, fuses the opening device, and gets us in.
Examiner, I shall have to make it your responsibility.
A laser, why not? It shouldn't be too difficult.
Well, we'll try the other side.
And he did. This time Lesterson was luckier, and a hatch in the capsule slid open.
It's a bit disappointing.
Not really. This is just an entryway, isn't it?
Yes. I suppose so.
Well, this doesn't get us very far, does it?
Getting into the rest of the capsule will take time, Governor.
Well, can't you use that torching again? That must be an
I shall have to measure it up and find out where the lock mechanism is.
I think we'll leave it for tonight.
Leave it for tonight? But what are we coming here for?
That is my decision, Governor.
For good heavens above man.
100 years, you say, this has been buried?
Or at least, there must be something in the inner compartments. We shall be able to find out where it came from originally.
It didn't come from this planet, Falcon.
No. The metal is quite alien.
Alien. Yes, very alien. Good night.
What's he up to now?
Then we're not going to let him out of our sight.
Well, Lesterson, you got your way. Was it worth sending for this examiner, this idiotic examiner?
I didn't send for him. I thought you did.
Why don't you let me talk to the examiner, Hensel? I can find out what he's here for.
No. You keep away from him. We'll leave him to work with Lesterson here. We've all got enough to do without having to worry about some amateur critic from Earth interfering.
5 minutes...
You heard what I said, Quinn. You won't mind keeping the examiner busy, Lesterson? I don't mind what you do with him, so long as you keep his nose out of our business.
Yes, all right.
All right, well, we shall talk about it tomorrow.
Later that night, I decided to make a second visit to the lab.
Ben!
What?
She's in the corridor.
Who is?
The doctor, you clock. Quick. He's going towards Lesterson's lab.
Of course, to the space capsule.
Come on.
I entered the now deserted lab, the room lit only by the eerie light emanating from within the capsule. I rummaged in several of my pockets before finding a piece of Dalekanium I had taken from the drawer in the TARDIS. I then produced the polished piece I had borrowed from Lesterson's lab. Oddly enough, they were both exactly the same shape, but then they'd been made to do the same job. Watched by Ben and Polly, I crossed to the capsule, entered and felt along the wall for a slit I had noticed earlier. Carefully, I inserted Lesterson's piece of metal, pushing home what I knew to be a key. I then stepped back and watched as a door slid open.
Ben, come in and meet the Daleks. What? The Daleks.
You could have opened this before.
These two pieces of metal are identical. The doctor got one of them from the Daleks himself. Why do you keep saying the doctor if you mean you? I knew I should find them here. Knew it.
They look harmless, not very lively.
What do you think? 200 years of a swamp and you wouldn't look very lively either. Nothing could live through that, could it?
Live?
Nothing human, no.
Take a look.
What's the matter?
Daleks in here. What's happened to the other one? Doctor!
Episode 2.
Did you see it? Quickly, Ben, quickly.
What was it?
I didn't answer, as I saw no point in terrifying my young companions. But it was something I dreaded to see. The thing pulsed with both life and the utmost evil. As I watched, it crawled away into a dark shadow.
Did you answer me?
It was a sort of disembodied hand, sort of claw. It was horrible.
I took the torch Ben had found and shone its beam into every dark corner I could find. But the result was the same.
No, there's nothing.
Right, there were 3 Daleks.
Do you know what it was?
Again, I didn't answer. Instead, I left Ben and Polly to chatter and went back into the laboratory.
There were 3. Who moved it?
Don't ask me.
Lesterson? But he hadn't opened the capsule.
No, he said he hadn't opened it. Let's get our facts straight.
Excellent. Good thinking, good thinking.
What does that mean you think he's been inside?
Perhaps he's been experimenting on the Daleks.
But they're things. I mean, they're dead. They must be.
This light is dead now, but watch.
You mean these things just need power?
No. Lesterton's a fanatic. The governor's jealous of his own position. What does that suggest to you? Don't know. Haven't thought about it. That all is not well with this colony. Add to that 1 Dalek.
Oh, blimey, you don't half make mountains, don't you? 1 Dalek?
Yes. All that is needed to wipe out this entire colony.
And while I thought I was being clever in the lab,
Examiner?
someone was looking for me in the restroom.
Examiner? Regan, did you ever knock before you enter a room?
I'm sorry if I disturbed you. I was expecting to find the examiner here, not you, Quinn.
Well, he's not here. You'll probably want to start snooping under the bed, so I'll leave you to it.
One moment.
Don't try your luck with me, Regan.
On the contrary, I'm trying to avoid trouble. The governor gave express instructions that you were not to contact the examiner. I find you here. I'm sure you can offer some suitable explanation.
I can, but not to you. Before you go, don't ever try to block my way again.
Guard!
The examiner is missing. He must be found immediately.
Of course, the real doctor was always going on about the Daleks.
Real doctor?
Real doctor?
Oh, you mean the real doctor?
Yeah, now I've seen that claw thing. Well, wouldn't want to shake hands with it, let's put it that way.
Doctor, look, if they're that dangerous, what are you going to do about it?
Save my breath.
Would Lesterson listen?
Lesterson, listen. Lesterson, listen. Lesterson, listen. Exercises the tongue. Try it. Lesterson, listen. Lesterson, listen. Lesterson, listen.
Look, they think you're the examiner. Order them to destroy the Daleks. What chuck your weight about?
Lesterson, listen, 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 Lesterson,
What do you think you're doing in here?
Listen. Listen.
Who gave you permission?
Read this. Allowed, accord every access.
Exactly. It doesn't say, except your laboratory anywhere, does it?
Unless it's in microprint.
I should have been asked first.
What was the first thing you noticed when you looked inside that capsule?
The Daleks.
You were astounded?
Yes.
Amazed?
Yes.
You didn't even give them a glance. Why? Because you'd been in there and seen them. Where is the 3rd Dalek?
I don't know what you're talking about. You opened up the capsule without permission. You found the inner compartment containing 3 Daleks. You took one of them away and you hid it.
Hid it? What nonsense.
May I ask what all this is about?
We opened an inner compartment in the capsule and Lesterson had already been in there.
I don't deny that.
And he's nicked a Dalek.
Daleks?
It's the name the examiner has given to two metal creations that I've discovered inside the capsule.
Yeah, and they're dangerous, evil.
Lumps of metal, quite inactive.
That's what you think, mate. If you'd seen...
I consider it my duty as a scientist to examine and investigate these objects. Now, please, all of you, keep out of my laboratory. Keep your hands off my experiments.
These lumps of metal, Daleks, I want them broken up or melted down. Up or down, I don't care which, but destroyed.
I refuse to allow it.
I'm an Earth examiner. I demand it.
You're exceeding your authority.
Perhaps we should ask the governor about that. I wish to see him immediately. That might be difficult, but not impossible. Ben, follow.
And for the first time, Resno, Lesterson's assistant, spoke.
Could he stop the experiment?
I don't know. It's none of your business. You go and get Janley and then come back here. We haven't got any time to waste. Now go on, and quickly.
With Resno gone, Lesterson crossed to the capsule and flicked a concealed switch. With a gentle hum, the door of another compartment slid open, revealing the missing Dalek. As with the others, it was inactive, but unlike them, it showed signs of Lesterson's handiwork.
They won't stop me experimenting. There must be some way to bring you back to life. And I'm going to find it.
Back in the restroom, Bragan was continuing to pile on the pressure.
And of course, you do have the right of any access, which is why I have a badge which says so. Lesterson watches over his ideas like a mother hen.
If there was a bomb under this floor, time to go off in 5 minutes, would you ask my permission before you ripped up the floorboards? Ah, fruit!
Examiner,
Thank you.
it's up to you, of course, but I'd advise a little discretion in your investigations. It's not a very good time just now. Thank you. With all these disturbances...
Disturbances?
Yes, minor acts of sabotage, rebel cliques, secret newspapers. Nothing important, you understand, but it keeps the governor busy. I've no doubt he'll tell you all about it himself when I arrange your meeting with him.
Well, when will that be?
He's going on a tour of the perimeter of the colony. I'll find out if he can see you before he goes.
Thank you.
You know, it's little things like this that make it difficult to believe that you're the doctor. The other one. I mean the proper one. Oh, nuts, you know what I mean.
Nuts? Yes, certainly. Here we are. Crackers.
You, my old China, are an out-and-out phony.
China. Yes. I went there once, I believe. Met Marco Polo.
No, not China. China and plate. Mate, friend.
Yes, Marco Polo, a friend. I believe he was.
Don't listen to him, Doctor. I know who you are.
Well, a touch of the bugs. The microphones.
Someone's been listening to what we were saying.
Yeah, so that's why you were messing about and talking nonsense.
I never talk nonsense. Well, hardly never.
Well, they certainly believe in makings at home, don't they?
At first, I thought there might be more than one.
Yeah, I bet old Charlie Bragan did it.
Charlie?
Well, Fred wouldn't suit it, would it?
If he did do it, do you think it was his own idea? I mean, he could have been under orders.
From the governor. I don't know. What do you think, Doctor?
Oh, yes, of course. Let's consider this button for a moment. It's the only clue we've got to the murder of the examiner, the real examiner.
And who asked for him to come?
Well, Lesterson's crackers about that capsule he wouldn't want anyone nosing about.
Bragan said the governor's been having trouble.
Nah, rule him out. Governors are all the same. He wouldn't ask for help. If he sent to Earth, it would look as if he couldn't do the job properly.
Yes.
Oh, well, I vote we go back to the TARDIS. I've had enough of this dump.
Have you? What about the Daleks?
Well, they're dead.
Well, what about that thing we saw in the capsule? That was alive, all right.
Yeah, well, can't explain that.
I can. And that's why we have to stay.
Ugly looking brutes, aren't they?
Yeah, what's he want to muck about with it for? Leave well alone, that's what I say.
You're a fine one to be a research assistant. Leave well alone. There'll be no progress on this planet with people like you around.
We're doing all right as we are. Or we were until the old lot came along stirring the things up. You won't get away with it, you know. The governor knows all about you rebels. He'll smash the lot of you when he's ready.
Governor?
Yeah, the governor.
He couldn't smash me.
Will you be quiet? Who do you both think you are?
This is a scientific laboratory. Can't they keep your politics out of it? Come on, Resno man, get on with it. We haven't got all day. We've got to get this working before the examiner stops us. He's got some phobia about these Daleks. I know the misery they cause, the destruction. But there's something else more terrible. Something I can only half remember.
Doctor, what was it?
Well, where is the governor? What did he say?
He sent his apologies, Examiner. He can't see you tonight, but he hopes to see you first thing in the morning.
Well, he might not wait that long, chap. Bragan.
If we'll have to.
Excuse me. Where are you going? To see the governor, of course.
I'm afraid that's not possible. Once his door is closed, no one, not even you, Examiner, is allowed into his room.
Very well.
Thank you. Until the morning, then.
What happens now?
I shall radio Earth. Governor or not, hence we'll have to listen to them. I'll get Earth to back me.
I thought I heard something in the corridor and snatched open the door.
It's funny. I could have sworn. You stay here, I shan't be long.
But instead of making a dignified exit, all I managed to do was remove the door handle. Meanwhile, Lesterson, Resno and Janley continued in their attempts to reactivate the Dalek.
Connecting now.
All connections responding?
Nothing at all.
No.
Are you sure?
There's nothing wrong here.
Now, let's see.
Well, if you can't trust me to read a dial...
Be quiet. All right, we'll try again. This time we'll take it up to 3.24. Got that, Janley?
3.24.
It's moving. Now, note this, Janley. Number 1 attachment with sucker stick responding. Number 2 attachment not moving. Number 3 attachment with lens responding. Watch these meters.
Still responding.
Now, it's reasonable to assume that this sucker stick acts like some kind of a hand. It's all right. Don't be alarmed. We've only introduced temporary power. We should have to be able to open it up before we could find out how it works permanently.
It's a bit frightening.
Yeah. Now, I cannot think what this short, stubby arm is for.
Could the lens attachment be an arm?
Yes. Yes. Now, it's quite possible that this, Dalek... Now, there must be some kind of directing influence. And there may even be a simplified brain. Positron, I shouldn't wonder. But, oh, if only we could open it up. Now what?
Everything functioning here.
Yes, well, perhaps the power is leaking away somewhere. We'll try again.
Suddenly, the eye stick of the Dalek began to move. Even more menacing was that an image of the laboratory was being relayed to an alert brain behind a synthetic lens.
I saw it. You can't use the phrase watching us. Have us believing that it's a thing of intelligence next. Now get on with your work, man.
I arrived at the communications room with every intention of making full use of its facilities. Instead, I found the radio sabotaged and its operator slumped on the floor. As I bent to examine the unconscious man, I became aware of someone lurking in a nearby shadow. It was Quinn, clutching a large pair of pliers.
I know you're there.
Examiner, thank goodness it's you. I've been trying to talk to you ever since you got here.
What's happening here? You again.
What do you want?
I found the operator unconscious.
Yes, so did I. This just looking at him when I heard someone move. It must be you. And those? Pick them up. What is all this?
The cables have been cut.
What? But this is serious. It's not just our own communications. We're cut off from Earth as well.
The only people that will want to do that are the rebels.
If those muscle boys of yours had any brains, they'd stop things like this.
Reagan, I was attacked just after I landed. This is a small souvenir I collected.
This button belongs to you, doesn't it?
Well, yes.
And you say you picked these up. I suggest that you were sabotaging the communications.
That's a lie.
Having first attacked one of the engineers. I detain the governor on evidence like that.
I hope you're not thinking of detaining me, Bragan.
I've no option. I could hardly let you run around loose after this, could I? All right, guards.
I warn you, Bragan. All right, you win this round, Bragan. We'll see what it looks like in front of the governor.
The governor will want an inquiry. May I ask what you are doing here?
Right. I've redirected power. This time working up to 4.6 peaks. Now, Resner, you'll have to dodge between the camera and your meters.
Ready.
Connecting now.
All connections responding.
Excellent. It's working. Excellent. Film it now, Resner. And note the readings, Candy. Seems to be interested in you, Resner. What's the matter with you, man?
I tell you, it's intelligent. It's watching me, Lester, and wiring me up. I can sense it.
Don't be a fool.
I don't like it, I tell you. We don't know what these things can do.
No, and we never shall know, shall we, unless we take film of every reaction. Now get on with your work, man.
Resno lined up his camera on the Dalek. As he did, the creature suddenly swiveled round, levelled its gun stick at Resno and fired. There was an ear-piercing report, and Resno collapsed to the ground. Instantly, Lesterson leapt on the power cables connected to the Dalek.
It's all right, isn't it?
What happened?
Knocked out by the shockwave.
We must get him to the hospital. I'll go and get help.
In the restroom the following morning, things were becoming decidedly restless.
But we've got to defend Quinn.
Yeah, I know. He's innocent until he's proved guilty, but he is guilty.
He's the deputy governor.
So what? I had a headmaster once who got nicked for not paying his bus fare. And then there's the motive. Don't forget the motive.
Like what, for instance?
Well, he's the deputy governor, right? Maybe he wants to be governor.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Well, the jacket button wasn't. And he was caught red-handed in the communications room with a pair of pliers. And don't tell me he was plucking his eyebrows
Look,
either.
there are some people you know are all right. You just know by looking at them.
Morning. The inquiry is about to begin. I've been sent to escort you.
Hello, Jeremy.
Time?
Yes, I think so. I feel quite excited.
So you're sure it's a wonderful achievement?
Yes, but the wonderful thing, Jandy, is that we don't know the full scope of this experiment. Who knows where we may go from here? Who knows what this Dalek may do?
It's harmless now.
Yes. I removed... Oh, Resno, have you been to see him today?
Yes. He's had medical attention. He's going to be all right.
Oh, good.
No one must find out about this accident. It might give the examiner just the excuse they want, and it could stop the whole project.
Oh, yes. Yes, you're right.
Well, ready?
Yes, let's go and surprise them.
The inquiry was held in the governor's office, a room full of fascinating architectural detail. At least this gave me something to look at, for I found both the governor and his inquiry somewhat lackluster.
I'm sorry I couldn't see you earlier, Examiner. Please sit down. Well, Quinn, I don't like this any more than you do. What have you been up to?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Well, what about Bragan's report, then? These are facts, Quinn. Now, what have you got to say about it?
Does the engineer say I hit him?
How could he if he was hit from
And
behind?
it's only circumstantial evidence.
The examiner was also attacked in the mercury swamp. We have a button from your jacket found in the examiner's hand.
I can't explain that.
I'm sure you can't.
Examiner, you seem to be in two minds.
Yeah, two bodies.
You mentioned to Bragan that these machines of Lesterson's, what do you call them? I call them what they are.
Daleks.
Yes, Daleks. You say they could be a motive for destroying our communication.
I do.
Lesterson, this is a special inquiry. Now, please,
Wait. You won't be disappointed. You heard what I said, Lester. Governor, I've just completed an experiment which could revolutionize the whole colony. Bear with me.
Lesterson, what have you done? What have you done?
I'll show you. Gently. Now.
Recognize him.
Matter, Doctor, all right.
Fools. Stupid fools.
It's dead. What can it do?
Nothing yet. This creation is
You were. It sounds ridiculous, but it did.
Now, look at who I was.
I've merely given it electrical power.
Darling knows who you are.
It is capable of storing it. Moreover, it responds to orders. Turn around. Move that chair. Stop! You see, just think what this could do for our mining program, our processing, packaging, dozens of labor jobs, Governor. It may even supply the end to all this colony's problems.
Yes. It will end the colony's problems because it will end the colony.
I am your servant.
It spoke. Yes, did you hear it? It could actually talk.
Do many things, Lesterson. But the thing it does most efficiently is exterminate human beings. It destroys them without mercy, without conscience.
I am your servant.
Completely.
I am your servant. I am your servant.
Episode 3.
I am your servant. I am your servant. I am your servant.
So, Lesterson, they're even capable of speech.
Yes. But then, why not? After all, they have a certain intelligence.
Yes, I know, but
it is an intelligence that we can control.
so what you want is permission to continue your experiment.
Governor, think what it would mean if we were to set it to work in the mines. It could double our production overnight.
Consider the effect it could have on our whole economy.
Yes, and the effect of that on Earth. Yes. Yes, they could be very grateful. I shall stop you. I will. All right, Lesterson. Permission granted.
Permission?
Permission for what?
To continue my work, Examiner.
But didn't you all hear what I said? The Daleks must be destroyed.
Oh, never.
Very well. If not by my order, then by Earth. Examiner, just a moment. Tell me, why are you so against this project?
But I told you! I realize I can't give you any proof,
But you've no idea of the danger.
No.
Yes! Danger!
I shall be contacting Earth just so soon as radio communications have been restored. You're my servant, are you?
I am.
Very well. Immobilize yourself. Go on. I order it. Immediately.
The Daleks seemed to obey my command, So with Polly and Ben in tow, I left the room.
Why did you stop obeying? You were given an order.
He has gone.
Then you obey
His order was wrong. I cannot serve human beings if I am immobilized. You gave me power. Your orders are right. I serve you.
Listen. It reasons. Just how limited is its intelligence? Now, there is no cause for concern, Governor. Just you wait until you see the amount of work it can do. And now I'm really going to put you through your paces. Follow me, Dalek.
I obey.
Stayed with Quinn.
Well, we couldn't have helped him, Polly, even if we wanted to. The governor's already reached his verdict.
But he didn't murder the real examiner. I'm sure he didn't.
Well, the way I see it, this lot's too busy arguing amongst themselves to do much about anything. Anyway, first things first, the Daleks are the important thing.
Congratulations, Ben.
What did I do?
You just used your brains, that's what you did. The Daleks are the most important thing.
I still think Quinn's innocent.
How can I be in league with the rebels?
The evidence confirms it.
It was I that warned of their dangers.
As part of your overall plan.
You wouldn't even take the matter seriously.
If I was wrong then, I have a chance to rectify it now.
If that's going to be your attitude, I
Quinn,
think...
let us conduct this inquiry in an orderly manner. Now, the examiner was attacked. There can be no question of that.
And the button grabbed by the examiner was missing from your suit.
Yes, if you've got anything to add to that, you'd better say it now.
I didn't attack the man. I had no reason to. I was the one that sent for him.
You sent for
It was
him?
necessary. Under the circumstances, I'd hardly be likely to sabotage the radio communications.
But why, Quinn? Why?
Because of the rebels.
The rebels. They're nothing more than one or two fanatics.
You know as well as I do.
Unless you're trying to create trouble here. To undermine the governor's position.
Regan, you better explain that.
If you're removed, who takes your place? The deputy governor, of course. And that's the real reason behind all this trouble, isn't it, Quinn?
Go on.
You attack the examiner in the Mercury swamp and blame it on the rebels. Then you sabotage the radio. Blame that on the rebels, too.
Get him out of my sight.
Hetzel, before you listen to these preposterous allegations...
I chose Quinn myself. I trained him for the job. Why, in a few years' time, he'd have had this seat.
Sometimes, Governor, a few years is a long time to wait.
O'Brien.
Governor?
You will assume Quinn's duties. As of now, you are deputy governor.
On the way back to the rest room, I popped into Lesterson's laboratory and borrowed a small control unit. In my enthusiasm to get at the components I required, I settled on the subtle technique of using a chair to break its outer casing.
I hope you know what you're doing.
So do I. Excellent.
I thought we were after the Daleks, not this control unit you've nicked.
If only we could find her.
Yes.
I tore the cover and mattress from the bed, knocked out the slats, and set about removing one of the supporting brackets.
Right little delinquent, isn't he?
Doctor, what on earth are you up to?
Now we're really getting somewhere. Look, Doctor, I don't want to appear dim, but how's this going to do the Daleks in?
They think that Lesterson's the driving force. But I don't. The Daleks are using him.
But how?
Problem. Smash the Daleks, and the people here will lock us up or kill us. Let the Daleks go, and we'll all be exterminated.
We could just go back to the TARDIS. At least it'd be safe to think there.
Yes, it's coming on.
Oh, you talk to him, will you?
Doctor, look, if you told us what you were up to, perhaps we could help you.
Mustn't underestimate any of them. Lesterson's a first-class scientist, first class. He opened the capsule. He realized that the Daleks could be reactivated.
Yeah, that could be the answer. Let's kidnap Lesterson and hide him away for a bit. Well, it would stop him bringing the Daleks back to life, wouldn't it? I thought it was pretty bright.
There we are.
What is it?
What is it? It could be the answer to all our problems.
I led my companion into the corridor and almost fell over Quinn and his guards. His trial might be over, but there seemed to be a lot of unanswered questions.
Examiner, don't let them fool you about the rebels. They're strong. Try and find out where they hold their meetings.
Leave him alone!
All right, Polly. We'll help him, Polly, but later.
Yes, but...
No, this is a case where a little injustice is better than wholesale slaughter. What we want is in Lesterson's laboratory. Come along.
Incredible. Good, let's move on to test 14.
I am ready.
When sodium acts on ethyl alcohol, what is the resulting derivative?
Sodium N oxide, C2H5ONA.
Just 5 seconds, Janley, just the time it took to speak the answer.
Right, too.
God, of course it's right. Can you imagine what kind of positronic brain this robot has, Janley? Think of the store of knowledge that it must carry. Sulfuric acid.
H2SO4.
You see?
May I come in?
What do you want?
Oh, just to see how you're getting on.
If you think
No,
that
please,
I'm
I'm not here to cause trouble. I'm just interested.
You've done nothing but meddle and interfere ever since you landed on Vulcan.
Well, I did give you permission to open up the capsule, didn't I? Please, carry on.
And you won't try to stop me?
Stop you? No, of course not. We got off on the wrong foot, Lester, but I'm a reasonable man, and I've been thinking perhaps I was hasty.
Well, if you really want to call a truce, I'm...
Truce, my dear fellow. I'd like to be friends.
Yes. Yes, very well, you may say.
Oh, thank you. Perhaps to abuse yourself for a little while.
As Ben and Polly departed, a communicator sounded.
Laboratory. Yes. All right. I can come now. Right. I just have to slip out for a few minutes, Lesterson.
Yes.
All right?
Yes. Very well, then, Examiner, shall we test its knowledge of physics?
Oh, splendid. Please, carry on.
Thank you. What is the first law of thermodynamics?
When heat is transformed into any other kind of energy, or vice versa.
While Lesterson proudly sat back listening to his new toy perform, I took the opportunity of attaching to the Dalek's power supply the device I had assembled earlier. The result was most satisfying.
To the quantity of the other kind of energy. What I think I'm doing, I have sustained no damage.
I left the Dalek and Lesterson to their own devices and slipped back to the rest room. I might have been less phlegmatic if I had known at the time what Janley and Bragan were up to.
It's all right, I think for me.
You were able to get away then?
Yes, Lesterson's with the examiner. And Hensel?
At a meeting of production managers. He left me in control.
We could take over the colony now.
No. No, it has to be absolutely right. I don't want to take over a colony full of rebels, do I, Janley?
I don't know. You're making me help them.
Only to stir them up to create enough trouble to get rid of Hensel. And then we crush them. The whole colony will be grateful, and I'll be governor. Is that the gun you told me of?
Mm-hmm.
Can you persuade the rebels this will help them?
Yes, Varma thinks he can work in a switch to turn it on and off.
How powerful is it?
Killed Restner, Lesterson's assistant. Lesterson believes that Restner is simply shaken up, taking a few days off.
And the body?
In the mercury swamp. Lesterson was the indirect cause of Restner's death. It's a good hold over him if he makes trouble. I'll give this to Varma then.
Yes.
When do we move?
I need another card in my hand. The examiner bothers me.
I thought Quinn was the danger.
Not anymore. The examiner's no fool. No. There has to be something else.
In the labyrinth, which is the colonist base, Polly and Ben were looking for me.
Well?
Well, he's not in the laboratory. Lesterson's by himself.
He must have gone another way. Can I leave it to you? I'm going to go back to the restroom.
Oh, but
somebody's got to clear it up.
Okay.
Hello there. Hello. You're Lesterson's assistant, aren't you?
Yes. You're not looking for the examiner, are you?
Well, do you know where he is?
Yes, he's waiting to get a message through from her. He's in the communications room. Oh, well, you'll find it easy enough. Look. Around, then to your right, in the next block.
Thanks very much. Doctor? Anyone here?
Well done, Velma. Hold. That'll keep her quiet for a bit.
I've no idea who she is. She was just snooping around.
I sent her. We want her kept out of the way. Get a couple of your men to keep her in a safe place. Now, this is what I told you about.
Yes. The lethal power must come from here.
Uh-huh.
It could have quite a good range.
Can you fix it?
It's easy. This could win us the revolution. She said she was coming back here. She knew the way and she wouldn't have wandered off. I know she wouldn't.
No. Ben, if you were a Dalek, what would be your next move?
I'm talking about Polly.
Oh, no. She's a clever girl, but she couldn't answer this.
But she is missing.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
No. She's looking around. There's a lot to see in the colony. She's interested. I like that.
Come on, where are we going? To report it. If we make a fool of ourselves, I don't care. We report it.
Yes, I managed to stop that fool of an examiner just in time. You know, there are some people here who believe that you're an enemy.
I am your servant. What does this machine do?
You know, it's amazing. You have an almost human interest and curiosity.
A Dalek is pet. Is not the same as a human. If I am to help, I must know everything.
Yes, of course.
What is this machine?
It computes meteorite storms as they approach our weather satellites.
How accurate is it?
About 70%. It helps to cut down on our satellite losses.
Daleks can build for computers with 100% accuracy.
100%?
If you provide materials and our own power unit, a computer will be built.
100%? That would be an enormous saving for the colony.
Then you will get the materials.
I'll go and speak to the governor at once.
I will be ready to dictate the blueprint when you return.
It's marvelous.
As Lesterson left his laboratory, the Dalek entered the capsule and disappeared into an impenetrable shadow.
You agreed we go and see Bragan.
Power.
Oh, come on, then.
Now, the energy intake for Dalek should be the cube.
Well, now what do you have? Talk to yourself. Oh, it's useless with incomplete data.
Hey? He just went past. That means we can get into his laboratory again.
But we're not...
Oh, come along, then. Come along. Somebody in there.
What are you doing here?
Stand aside. Servants shouldn't question.
Entry is restricted.
Not for me, it isn't. Accord every access. I've got a badge.
That's in an order.
A Dalek order. Short circuit the generator bed.
Stand back.
Don't be frightened, Miss Ben. It's not armed. I'm going to see what it was doing in there.
What I found was more than I'd feared. Armed Daleks.
Ben, let's get out of here. Fool Lesterson must have reactivated them. Yes. When I say run, run like a rabbit. Run!
I have sent the human being for materials. And power? Yes, power we can turn into static. Then we will conquer. We will conquer. We will conquer. We will conquer.
But if you didn't do it, Lesterson, then the Dalek must have used your power supply and reactivated the others itself.
I was going to do that anyway.
Are you off your head, mate? Those two are armed.
Then we turn off the electricity, disarm them, and then everything is safe again.
But as I've already explained to you...
Stop these arguments, both of you. I've had enough.
I've every confidence in Lesterson. He has carte blanche for the Daleks from now on.
But they must be destroyed!
Regan, I'm making a tour of the perimeter. I put you in direct charge here. See that Lesterson gets everything he wants, will you?
I shall need a permanent guard on my laboratory, Regan.
Don't worry about the examiner. I think I can keep him quiet.
We've been forgetting about Polly. Greed and ambition. That's all it is. Wait till they find out what their precious production figures have cost them. Oh, I want to see you. What about? Well, it's Polly. She's missing. We can't find her anywhere.
I'll tell one of my men to make inquiries. It shouldn't take long to find her.
Oh, thanks.
Examiner. Some of my men have found a body in the mercury swamp. It was the body of a middle-aged man.
What has that to do with me?
You're the examiner. Or maybe you're not.
Just exactly what do you mean by that?
Who are you? Quinn's friends come to stir up rebellion?
There's only one possible way that you could know that I'm not the examiner. Yeah, by knowing what the real examiner looked like. Exactly, Ben, exactly. Only two people knew of his arrival on this planet. Myself and his murderer.
That's enough.
Is it? Doctor, we've got to tell the governor.
Do you think he'll believe you? I'll soon convince him that you murdered the man yourself. You stole the examiner's badge.
Then why don't you arrest us? Because there's a doubt, isn't there? Because it just might go against you.
All right. All right, so neither of us wants to make a move. But you will leave Lesterson alone. And the Daleks.
He'd make a right Father Christmas, wouldn't he? Oh, I'd rather fight 100 of his sort than just one Dalek.
As I spoke, a sheet of paper was pushed under the door.
Listen to this. The girl is safe. She will remain so as long as you leave the Daleks alone.
And did you disarm the other two?
Yes, we are your servants. We do not need guns.
I'm very glad. I knew the examiner was wrong about you.
Did you get our materials?
Yes, everything you need, you can have.
And a power plant?
Everything.
We will get our power. We will get our power. We will get our power. We will get our power.
Episode 4. But even Lesterson was disturbed by the Daleks' single-mindedness. Quietly, he crossed to the control panel and reduced the power by half.
Turn back the power supply.
I will. But I want you to remember that I control you.
We are your servants.
I know. Remember it. I gave you each a special charge to bring you back to life. Any further power you need must come from this generator, and I control it. Is that clear?
We obey.
Where are they going?
To await your orders, Master.
Good. Have you completed the blueprints for the Meteor Storm computer?
It is ready.
Oh. Marvelous. I'm glad we understand each other.
We understand the human mind.
In the governor's room, Bragan, who was now sporting the sort of uniform favoured by brutal dictators, was working on some papers, while Valmar put the finishing touches to installing a square scanner communication set.
This is Valmar. Test call, please. Terrace? I can hear you clearly. All right, good. I'll try and get in connection now with the interior and then the perimeter stations. Well, no troubles now.
About time. This work should have been completed long before this.
Well, I did the best I could.
Well, it isn't good enough.
Then get someone else, Bragan.
Be careful. I shall be watching you, Valmar, after this. Now get out. What does this intrusion mean?
I'm sorry, Bragan. I tried to stop them.
Intrusion? It's no intrusion. We're just returning the various calls that you made. This guard tried to tell us you were busy. You're not a bit, are you? All right, I'll see them. Oh, what a nice new uniform. Very smart, very smart. I would like a hat like that. Well, what do you want?
Some joker has kidnapped Polly and sent us this note.
Yes.
Well, we want to know what you're doing to find her.
Now that the communications are restored, we can start a search.
Yeah, I can just imagine what kind of job you'll make of that. Haven't you heard anything yet?
The planet is a large one.
So, they've given you the run of the colony, have they?
We obey. Do I bring liquid for your visitors?
No, they won't be staying much longer.
Look, Doctor, if he's not going to help us, we'll have to search for Polly ourselves.
Sound advice. Why don't you, Doctor?
Examiner. I wonder how much longer they'll be able to move around on these floors.
Eh?
Floors, they're not metal.
Doctor?
There you are, Bragan. Thank heavens the communications are working again. There's nothing stuck out here on the perimeter. Well, your report, man. Hurry up. I've a very full schedule.
And there is nothing to report, Governor.
The examiner?
I'm taking good care of him.
Good. You know my orders.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, you can reach me here if you have to. That's all.
One moment, Governor. When will you be coming back?
Oh, not for a day or two at least. You can manage, can't you?
Yes. Yes, of course, Governor. What do you want?
Have you finished your liquid?
No. No, I haven't.
In a nearby corridor, Janley, watched by Kebble, was pinning a notice onto an information board.
You'd better check the agenda.
I'll do it now.
Static, you see. They need a constant supply of static from the floor. Some sort of electrical field. Doctor, why should he... letting them run around like this. Hey, wait a minute. Bragan had one acting as a servant and we've just left him. One Dalek in Bragan's office. 3 Daleks just gone down the corridors. That makes 4. Where did the 4th one come from? Well, Esterson can't have been making them. Perhaps there were more in the capsule than we thought. We must go and see Lesterson. Yeah, and show him this note. Maybe he or Janny knows where Polly is. We frightened him off. Wonder what the fascination of this notice board is. Looks like a perfectly ordinary notice board to me. Yeah, well, come on, Doctor. We must find out who's got Polly. Doctor, come on!
Janley? The Daleks, they've given me another list of materials they need.
Let me see. We've got all those things.
Yes, but why these quantities, Janley? Why? How can they have used up all the materials I gave them? What is it? It's only a matter of a few hours ago.
They're building new things for us.
Yes, well, I don't want them to do anything without consulting me. What is it they do inside there?
You're worrying too much.
Look, Janley, say what you like, but I'm beginning to believe that the Examiner is right about the Daleks. Their original thinking terrifies me. If we can control them, fine. But if not...
Yes?
Then I shall have them destroyed. It's too dangerous. The Examiner knows something about them that we don't. I'm going to ask his advice.
I wouldn't bring the Examiner to it if I were you.
Why not?
You want him to find out about Resno?
A little accident. How is he? Is he better?
He's dead.
What are you talking about? You told me he was...
You were busy with the experiments on the Daleks.
But you should have told me. The body... It'll have to be reported.
Don't worry. No one will find the body.
Oh, Janley. You've done a terrible thing.
The experiments on the Daleks were more important.
More important than human life. No, I won't accept that.
Good. Look. Your carelessness was the cause of Resno's death. You murdered him. It's only your word against mine.
I won't be blackmailed by you.
All I want is for you to go on as you are. Scientific discovery can't stop dead, Lester.
I don't regard that no one was to be allowed in.
Accord every access, remember? We're looking for Polly.
Well, she isn't here, and I haven't seen her.
Well, she's been kidnapped.
Sounds a little unlikely.
Oh, it does it? Well, we've got this note which tells us so.
I'm very sorry, but I don't know anything about it.
Lesterson?
Yes.
You haven't been building Daleks, have you?
Building? No, I wouldn't know how to begin.
And there were only 3 in the capsule?
Yes.
Well, we've just seen 4. 1 in the governor's office and 3 in the corridor.
That's not possible.
There's only one explanation. The Daleks are reproducing themselves.
These things are machines. How could they reproduce?
Machines? What makes you think they're just machines? Well, the Daleks are brilliant engineers. Nothing is beyond them, given the right materials.
What?
I said nothing is beyond them, given the right materials. Lesterson, what's the matter?
Leave him alone. He's just been overworking, that's all.
Oh, he looks flat.
We won't go away. Go! It's you, badgering him with questions. You've done nothing but hound him ever since you arrived on Vulcan. Bragan's orders were that nobody was to be admitted.
Yes, but I thought that the
He attacked Lesterson. Get them out of here, both of them.
Did not attack
Out, do you hear?
All right.
Janley here. Tell Bramwell to come over to the lab right away. Good. Now it's all right. Come on. Rest here for a bit. You've been doing far too much. I've sedated him.
Well, what's the matter with him?
Overwork, I suppose. He just suddenly broke up. Anyway, it'll give you a chance to lay in the new power cables the Daleks have asked for.
You don't miss a trick, do you?
We're going to lay in the new cables you wanted.
Good.
You're sure this is okay, Janley?
Of course. We help them, they help us.
Yes, we are your servants.
Don't take too long about it, Valma. Oh, you saw the notice, did you?
I saw it.
As Ben and I made our way along the corridor, my eye was once again drawn to the information board and the notice Janley had pinned there.
Well, we're still no nearer finding Polly. What are we hanging about here for?
Then I found a message in code. It's an anagram. You just take the capital letters, see? Work it out yourself.
Oh, I can't do crosswords.
Meeting tonight, 2000 hours. R-O-C-K-E-T, rocket. R-O-O-M, room. P, rocket room P. It's the rebels' way of calling a meeting. Only tonight. We are going to be there. Early.
Yeah, maybe we're nearer finding Polly than I thought.
Later that evening, we made our way to the rocket room, and choosing what turned out to be the most impractical place possible, we concealed ourselves.
Oh, I've got pins and needles now.
What's the time?
Time we went home. Yes, home.
The door quietly opened, and in an orderly file, Janley, Valmar, Keble, and a Dalek entered. Janley, who was carrying a case, placed it on a bench, opened the lid, and removed a Dalek gunstick. At the same time, someone else entered, and although I strained to see his face, it remained almost deliberately shrouded in shadows. Whoever he was, there wasn't any doubt that he was the leader of the group. Once the gun had been unpacked, Valmar fitted it to a Dalek.
Now, we're going to demonstrate something. New section leaders can pass on what you see. So far, we've been concerned with testing the strength of the governor with a few acts of sabotage. But now we're ready to take over.
What is that thing? It's moving about, but all we've been told is it's a machine Lesterson discovered.
Ram.
Well, Lesterson removed the armaments of the Daleks he discovered. I've rearmed this one, but with a controlling device. We can regulate the firepower and turn it off and on whenever we choose.
Shall we have the demonstration now?
That's the one we want. He must be the boss of this outfit.
This screen is 2-inch thick tungsten steel. Right, one more.
I'll fire at the screen.
Quiet! You must keep quiet. We're too vulnerable here.
But you can't control a thing like that. It'll turn on us.
No, it won't.
You wouldn't let any of my group go anywhere near.
I can control it.
Prove it. You daren't. I'm not talking about that thing firing at the wall or bits of metal or anything. I mean people. Have you tested whether you can stop it from killing people? Our people?
Look, I can show you what I've done here.
Forget it. How do you know a Dalek can tell the difference between the governor's people and our people?
But I can tell the difference, you fool, and I control it.
We want something better than worse.
Test it on me. Will that satisfy you?
Oh, yes, but...
She's out of her mind.
Is it all right? When I tell you to fire...
I am your servant.
Get back to your places.
Are you all right?
Of course. I don't take the easiest risks.
Oh, well done, Johnny.
How did disarm the Daleks? Well, go on, take the gun away. We don't want any accidents. Now, what about the girl?
We've got her safely locked up, never fear.
I think the best thing for us to do is take the money. Maybe I'll say where she is.
Who's there? Distract them. Find out where Polly is.
No! Help! Help! The guards will have heard this. Come on, we've got to get out of here. Take him and lock him up. Quick! Out!
You might as well come out. We know you're there.
Of course. Who else is fitted to be leader of the rebels? No doubt you want to be leader of the Daleks, too.
I am the leader of the Daleks.
So see if you can stop this one from killing me.
Stop! You heard me, that's an order. Turn away. Fetch the guard.
I obey.
You hope to have it both ways, Bragan. But how will you look in front of the governor when I explain your due role to him?
The governor will hardly listen to an impostor.
An impostor? How do you propose to prove that?
My guards are now going to produce the body of the real examiner from the Mercury swamp.
The one you murdered?
The one you pretended to be.
Murder's a far worse crime than impersonation.
Yes. But you can't prove I'm a murderer, while I can prove that you're an impostor. Take this man away. Detain him.
A dangerous man.
Now the only one left is the governor.
Perhaps we should have dealt with the examiner earlier.
I'll deal with him in time. And Quinn.
The guards pushed me along the corridor. I wasn't doing at all well. Not only had I lost Polly, but now Ben. The door to a cell was flung open, and I was pushed inside. Seated on a hard bench, and looking decidedly sorry for himself, was Quinn.
You're the last man I expected to see here.
Works by sound, does it?
I'm speaking to you, Examiner. Oh, I'm sorry. If you'd listened to me in the first place, you wouldn't be locked up here now.
Well, your imprisonment hasn't been entirely wasted. It's brought your enemy out into it.
Break it? I've known that all along.
Yes, but did you know he was the leader of the rebels?
Bacon, the leader?
Yes, it's quite a simple sort of lock, really.
Pensel's trouble is he thinks he can run this colony on his personality alone.
But even if he knew of the danger, could he do anything? The rebels are well organized.
The governor's popular. You can count on the mine workers at the perimeter for support.
In that case, we must get word to him.
If you'd done your job properly, Examiner, you wouldn't be here now, and I'd have been out too.
Ah, yes, but then I'm not the real examiner. Then Polly and I, we're just travelers, that's all. I found the examiner dead. Bragan murdered him.
King leads back Ben Bragan. Just give me a chance to get my hands on him.
We'll just have that chance unless we can get out of here.
It's just the little matter of the cell doors.
While I continued to work on the cell door lock, things were getting decidedly out of hand in Lesterson's laboratory.
Position at the communications room. Watch and report. I obey.
There come spies together. Oh, why didn't I realize? The examiner was right. They are evil.
Episode 5. Tentatively, Lesterson entered the capsule and found an entrance to a tunnel he hadn't seen before. Now terrified, he cautiously made his way along it. At the far end, the steady pounding of machinery could be heard. Lesterson continued on until he came to several large chambers. In one was a huge conveyor belt, on which could be seen rows of Dalek casings gleaming in the murky light. The sight and sounds were that of a steel forgery in hell. In another area, the fleshy, claw-like creatures that are the living tissue of the Daleks were being removed from incubation chambers and placed in the casings. Terrified, Lesterson turned and fled back to his laboratory.
They're in there, making themselves, duplicating.
What are you talking about?
I started this, opening the capsule. Don't try to stop what happened! They forget that I control them. I gave them life back again. And now I've taken it away. Finished. Stop it. Evil. Horrible. I know what I'm going to do. Laser torches. Melt them down. I'm going to melt the Daleks down to pools of metal.
You won't, Lesterson.
You think I care what you can do? Go on. Tell everybody I was responsible for Resno's death. I don't care. I'm going to wipe out the Daleks. Yes. Tell everybody all about Resno. I'm going to write the Daleks. Give it the Examiner. Prison. Who put him there? But I've got to talk to him. I've got to do it, you understand? How did you get there? I cut off the power.
We can store power. We will soon have our own.
Own power?
Why was the capsule door closed?
Own power!
Seal off the capsule secret entrance. I obey. Wait. No more than 3 Daleks to be seen together at any one time. I obey. We are not ready yet to teach these human beings the law of the Daleks.
You can help me.
What's the matter?
Where's the Examiner?
The Examiner's in prison. What's the matter with you?
I forgot.
What are you running for? Hey!
Back at the laboratory, Janley had produced Polly from her concealed prison.
Did Lesterson come back?
No. Why is this human restricted?
She's against the Daleks. Afraid, are you? Nothing's going to happen to you if you behave. The Daleks? Of course I'm afraid, and so should you be. The Daleks are going to help us. Us being the rebels, I suppose, if you like. And when you've won, the Daleks will just go back to being servants again. You're bigger fools than I thought.
We are your servants.
While it suits you. You'll see.
You want me to stay with her?
Yes. You may have to help Valma. We'll be here in a minute to fix up the new Dalek car parking.
Right.
When will the work be completed?
What is this cable you Daleks are laying anyway?
Daleks operate on static electricity.
Is that possible?
To create static, the Daleks need a complete cable circuit.
I see. You convert our electricity into your own power.
That is correct. When will the human being complete the work?
He'll be here. It's easier now. There's no one to interfere with our plans.
You have to do that.
Using a glass containing water and rubbing my finger around the rim, I was trying to simulate the note of the sonic key that controlled the lock of our cell door. But alas, the only progress I made was to produce a nasty blister on my finger.
I'm afraid you'll find these locks are foolproof.
I wonder how they're converting the power.
What are you talking about?
The Daleks. They're powered by static electricity. It's like blood to them, a constant life stream.
Static isn't workable.
It is to the Daleks. They've conquered static, just as they've conquered anti-magnetics.
I'm not going to listen to any more of this nonsense.
I don't seem to be able to hit the right note. Do you have any more water?
I hope not.
No. Then I shall have to get some.
You can't believe it, boss. It's desperately impossible. Bregan gave orders. Get out of my way. The Daleks. They're duplicating. I've seen them. They've got their own power now. I can't stop them.
Take him to Bregan.
I say, do you think we might have a little more water?
Is that all you can say? Lesterson fights his way down here to speak to you, and all you can do is demand more water.
The guards had taken Lesterson away, which was something I had little control over. But the lock on our cell door was another thing. And water was vital if I were to find a correct pitch. Fortunately, this time, our guard was more cooperative.
Get away from the door. Sorry about that outburst. I thought it might help the situation. Nearly.
What's this?
You tried to break in and speak with the examiner.
What is the Dalek doing?
I thought you knew. Something to do with the emergency power supply.
It's a trick. I didn't ask for it.
Lesterson, I've heard reports. What are you doing?
Laying the new emergency power supply as you ordered. Master.
It's a lie.
I've heard reports of your incomprehensible behavior.
Yes, I can explain. If you get rid of that.
Finish now.
I am your servant.
Where is the governor?
At the perimeter, why?
Call him. Get him back here as quickly as possible. We're all in terrible danger. The examiner was right. Right all the time. Don't listen to anything she has to say. She's in league with the Daleks.
Now, please, listen. Just take things calmly. You're not well.
I'm perfectly well.
Please, Lesterson. Please. Now. You ought to be in hospital. You promised me you'd report.
I promised nothing of the kind.
Don't you remember? Never mind. I understand.
Pity. It's probably only temporary.
You're trying to say I'm mad?
No, not mad.
No.
But I tell you, I saw the Daleks. They were duplicating. I saw it, I swear to you.
He started saying these things in the lab. I'm afraid he's...
No.
Keep him under restraint.
Will nobody listen to me?
At the capsule, superintended by a Dalek, Polly watched as Valmar worked on the all-important power cable.
Pass with us, small screwdriver.
I can't. My hands are tied. Anyway, I wouldn't help you even if I could.
Okay.
Suddenly, Keble pushed his way into the compartment, carrying yet more bundles of wire.
more. I can't handle them. This is the last one.
The Dalek's gone now.
That doesn't mean you can stop talking. Oh, leave her alone, Cabell. She isn't doing any harm.
You think you're very tough, don't you, pushing a girl around? I'd like to see you come up against a real man.
Like who?
Like Ben, for instance.
Don't worry about him. We've got him safely stowed away.
You've got Ben?
He's sleeping off a slide fork. I told you to leave her alone.
Your name's Valmar, isn't it?
That's it.
You want the Daleks to fight the governor. But don't you see, they'll turn on you too.
What, 3 big pepper pots? One of them did kill Resno. You saw what the Dalek did to that sheet of metal.
And that's just the beginning.
Don't listen to her. She's giving you the examiner's line.
He isn't the examiner. We're just travelers, landed here by accident. The doctor, that's the man you think is the examiner, found the real examiner dead and picked up his papers.
This doctor of yours, he knows something about the Daleks?
He tried to warn everyone. It's the only reason we stayed here.
When will the work be completed?
I don't know. I'll need a new junction box, like this one.
All underestimated these Daleks.
Better brains than us, I suppose.
I only know what the doctor has told me. He says they're capable of exterminating whole nations.
Perhaps, but what would they want to kill us for after we've taken over? We're friendly with the Daleks.
Don't you see? Human beings can't be friends with Daleks. They don't have friends.
I don't see why not.
It's a kind of hatred for anything unlike themselves. They think they're superior.
The girl's got something. You want to tell Janley? You're welcome.
Janley? She'll betray the lot of you if she doesn't have a chance.
They are the junction boxes outside.
Thank you. Talk too much, don't you? Didn't you know he was soft on Janley? All right, I'm just putting it straight. More slack on the cables.
Hensel, the governor, had returned.
What are all these cables lying about?
New emergency power supply.
Whose idea was that?
What do you want to know for?
What do I... Don't you know I'm the governor? Where are you from?
The interior, sir.
The interior? Why are you carrying a gun?
I'm a squad leader in Bragan's Guard, sir.
Oh, I see. Bragan's Guard, eh? All right, carry on. Cut that door out, you two.
But this time I had found the right note. And to cover the sound of Quinn opening the door, I had a quick blast on my recorder. A moment later, the guard had been subdued.
What the... Oh! Come on. Wait a minute. We don't want him trying it. Though he seemed a bit tone deaf to me.
So I drank the water and pocketed the glass.
Oh, Bragan. These trips are becoming more and more demanding.
I didn't expect you, Governor.
I had as much as I could stand. Well, what's been happening here?
One moment.
Look, I asked you a question, man.
I heard you.
Look, your work can wait. You can hand over to me tomorrow. I want to hear about the examiner.
The examiner is at present in jail.
In jail? It's rather dangerous, isn't it? Who put him there?
I did.
You did? He didn't say why.
He's an imposter, Governor. Possibly a murderer as well. We've just discovered the body of the real examiner in the Mercury swamp.
I hope you're sure of your facts, Bragan.
Quite sure.
This could have far-reaching consequences.
As far as I'm concerned, there's nothing more to be said. So if there's nothing further...
Nothing further? Who the devil do you think you're talking to? Stand up when you're speaking to me, man.
I prefer to remain seated.
Do you now? We'll soon see about that. Guards, take this man out of my office. Did you hear what I said? That's an order.
You forget, my dear Hensel. They're not your guards, they're mine.
I am the governor.
No, not now. I am.
I see. Your guards, eh? Yes, Quinn warned me about your guards, but we all took them too lightly, didn't we? But we'll soon change that. You imbecile! How long do you think your handful of guards can hang out when the people hear that I'm being kept a prisoner in my own capital?
The people will do exactly as they're told, Hensel. It will, of course, be easier for them if you cooperate with us. Wait there. Guards dismissed.
So, Bragan, you want my cooperation, do you?
It will save bloodshed. I might even let you keep the title of governor.
Might you now? I'll tell you what you will do. You'll order your guards to disarm and place yourself under arrest immediately.
So you reject my offer? I thought it a generous one, in the circumstances.
What circumstances?
Look at this.
What is it?
The reason that the colony is now mine.
Is it a weapon of some kind?
I'll arrange a demonstration for you. Do you still refuse my offer?
I will not be intimidated.
Oh, of course not. In character to the last, Hensel.
Kill him. Why do human beings kill human beings?
Get on with your work.
Yes, master. I obey.
Yes. Obey me. From now on, I'll have complete obedience from everyone.
Like two scalded cats, Quinn and I ran down the corridor that led to Lesterson's laboratory. Without pausing, we slipped inside and hid behind a convenient workbench. A moment later, Valmar emerged from the capsule.
I'll have to check the cable circuit now. Otherwise, it's just as you asked for.
Very well.
Why can't you carry on with the power you're drawing from the colony? Why go to all this trouble?
Until now, we have had to recharge from the colony supply. With static power, the Daleks will be twice as useful.
Oh, quick! The governor's back.
What about the girl?
Please, Auntie.
I will follow you.
What for?
I am your servant.
I bent down and examined the Dalek cable.
An electrical circuit of their own supplying static electricity. I wonder how much longer we've got.
Accompanied by Quinn, I then followed it into the capsule.
Realize they have a circuit of their own.
Only to be attacked by Keble. Fortunately, Quinn made short work of our opponent, and, more importantly, we'd again found Polly.
Who's the man who went outside just now?
Valmar, he's been working for the Daleks.
On their static power supply.
Doctor, they've got Ben.
Yes, I know. He ran away so that I could... Oh, well, it's a long story. But don't worry, that boy can take care of himself.
Suddenly, a Dalek appeared in the entrance of the capsule.
That won't help. Get out, Paul, I'll do it to you.
The doctor!
Well, go.
As Quinn and Polly left the room, I examined the long screwdriver Quinn had given me. As it would have been foolish to try and fight an armed Dalek with something so inconsequential, I followed my companions into the corridor, closed the door behind me, and rammed the screwdriver into the lock.
Have they escaped? Yes. Return to capsule and report. I obey.
In its anger, a Dalek blasted the jammed lock. But my greater concern was with what was happening in the production area inside the capsule.
We are to wait here until the human beings fight among themselves. Then we will strike and exterminate
Exterminate! 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 Exterminate!
It was a sad sight that greeted us at the governor's house.
The one man who could have saved us.
Don't worry. The people will follow you, too.
Maybe. But there wasn't any maybe about Hensel. He was old-fashioned, single-minded, yes. But he's done a lot of wonderful work for this colony. Events turned out against him, that's all. But why? Why was he killed?
I can answer that. He wanted to destroy the Daleks, so one of them killed him. Now I'm declaring martial law. You'll be returned to prison and properly guarded this time.
Martial law? What good do you think that will do against the Daleks?
The Daleks will do as I tell them.
We shall see, shan't we?
Take them away.
And deep inside the capsule, the Daleks kept up their message of hate.
Orders received! Exterminate all humans! Exterminate all humans! Exterminate! Annihilate! Destroy! Daleks conquer and destroy! Daleks conquer and destroy! Daleks conquer and destroy! Daleks conquer and
Episode 6.
Exterminate all humans! Exterminate all humans! Exterminate! Annihilate! Destroy! Daleks conquer and destroy! Daleks conquer and destroy! Daleks conquer and destroy! Daleks conquer and destroy! Positions ready to exterminate all human beings. Exterminate, 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 exterminate.
The thought of being locked up depressed me. But the sight of another Dalek further along the corridor depressed me even more.
Move on! The Dalek!
To Bashes!
Can't you see it's armed? Keep moving!
This area is restricted.
On whose authority? Silence!
Repeat, this area is restricted. Obey, or you shall be exterminated.
I thought they obeyed us.
What do we do now, Doctor?
This way.
At the late governor's house, Janley and Bragan continued to conspire.
We've won! The revolution's over. I'll pass the word to Val McKeble and the rest.
Wait. The revolution is not quite over yet.
What can we do? Hensel's dead. You're the new governor. The battle's over.
Not quite. You mentioned Keble, Valmer, and that rabble. Well, now they must be dealt with.
But those are our own men.
Of course.
I don't understand.
Do you think I can ever be secure in that chair while that rabble is still loose? They rebelled against Hensel yesterday. Tomorrow it'll be my turn. Well, let them rebel. Tell them the guards have taken control. Let them attack, and then we can crush them utterly.
You say we?
Yes, we've come a long way together, you and I. Are you going to back down now?
Couldn't you just arrest them?
Everyone must be killed.
Must they all be slaughtered?
All of them. Well, are you still with me?
I suppose so.
Then do as I say. I'm glad you agreed with me.
The more I thought about being locked up, the more depressed I became. So I decided to do something about it. The fight was short and sweet, and with a minimum of fuss. At the rest room, however, Ben was having less fun with Valmar.
What you brought me in here for? What? Whose side are you on, anyway?
I thought I was going to be on the winning side.
What changed your mind?
Bragan. The colony's become too small for him. He wants us out of the way now.
Yeah, well, it often happens that way, mate, when you follow blokes like him.
Look, I'm going to try and get your friends here if I can. So wait here.
Section 1 reporting, Governor Bragan.
Yes?
The rebels are gathering. We've got them under observation.
Well, don't let them concentrate in large groups. Hit them before they organize. They'll be making their move any time now.
Right.
People of Balkan, this is your new governor talking to you. I have to announce that Governor Hensel has been murdered by the rebels. I have taken control temporarily until order is restored. People living on the perimeter and in the interior should stay calm. We know who the murderers are. I shall keep you informed of events as soon as I'm able. So listen for the signal to watch your communication sets. That is all.
Oh, there you are. I knew you'd be all right. Polly, you okay?
Oh, yes.
Did Valmar find you then?
Valmar, no.
What's this about Valmar? Well, it seems Bragan's gone power mad. He wants the rebels to revolt, then he can finish them off.
The Daleks won't care who they fight. They'll exterminate every human being on this planet.
Doctor, please let's go back to the TARDIS.
Grin, keep them both here. Well, wait a minute, Doctor.
I raced off along the corridor, leaving the others behind. Nearby, I could hear Daleks receiving their hateful commands.
Orders received. Daleks commence extermination. Exterminate. Exterminate.
Rounding a corner at speed, I almost collided with Keble and two guards.
Just 10 minutes, Examiner. All right, hold it.
I threw myself to the ground as a Dalek entered the corridor and fired. The guards died instantly. Without stopping to think, I grabbed Keble and raced back to the others. Meanwhile, Valmar had returned to Lesterson's laboratory and had been discovered by Janley.
Don't come any nearer.
What do you mean?
I overheard your conversation with Bragan, but you can't stand up to the Daleks, so your plan will come to nothing.
My plan, Bragan.
But that's the same thing.
Not anymore.
You expect me to believe that?
Well, he was going to kill me, too. I came here to do exactly what you've done. Let Bragan see what the Daleks are like. He doesn't know how strong they are. He's got to be stopped.
You will lead us to the middle of your party of human beings.
Yes.
We will fight for you.
Believe me, Val, it's the only way to save all our lives.
Did you know that the Daleks are duplicating?
Yes.
But we are your friends. We will serve you. Take us to the center of your group.
Can we trust them? We must. The guards have orders to wipe us out. We must use the Daleks. Come here.
The window! Does it open? I don't know. How are we done for? Out you go. The Daleks! They're teeming all over the corridors! We've got to get back to Lesterson's now!
As we climbed through the window, a terrified Keble ran into the room, pursued by a Dalek. A moment later, he was dead.
This is Governor Bragan speaking. A group of rebels is attempting to take over the colony. It is the duty of all loyal citizens to help the guards resist. Stay in your homes. Order will be restored. Listen to my bulletins.
The rebels are using the Daleks against our people.
Well, get back and fight. Why do you come running to me? What do you think your guns are for?
All guns don't work against them.
Get back and fight them.
Across a corridor, the rebels had built a barricade of bales and boxes. From behind this cover, they exchanged gunshots with the loyal guards. Further along the corridor, Janley and Valmar entered. Using a Dalek as protection, they advanced towards the Loyal Guard, ordering the Dalek to fire.
Down there! Over there! No, over there! There are people! Put the Dalek on!
But something had gone seriously wrong. Instead of firing as ordered, the Dalek turned its weapon on the rebels.
Oh, look at it.
Your usefulness is over.
But as it spoke, more guards firing guns poured into the corridor. The Dalek returned fire, and in the confusion, Janley and Valmar were able to make their escape.
Doctor, it should be behind in here!
Don't you fancy chance outside in the corridor? No, thanks. The answer must be here somewhere.
As Lesterson indicated we should be quiet, a Dalek emerged from the capsule. Fortunately, we were well hidden behind a workbench, so the creature glided by and disappeared into the corridor.
You must be absolutely quiet. They know everything that's going on. Everything. They even know what you're thinking. But where do they get their power from, Lesterson? I tried to turn the power off, but they were miles ahead of me. Marvelous creatures. You have to admire them. But we've got to stop them. Oh, it's too late for that. They're the new species, you see, taking over from Homo sapiens. Man's had his day. Finished now.
Again, Lesterson signaled our silence as two Daleks emerged from the capsule.
The static circuit is nearly complete. Soon we can abandon the power we are using. The humans are being exterminated.
Do you hear that? They're going to use their own power.
The cables they laid. The trick I tried before won't work anymore.
Oh, that's no good now. We're finished. All we can do is marvel at the creatures who are taking our place.
In a corridor somewhere, Janley, who had conspired so well to usurp the governor's power, met a fate of her own making.
Come on! Oh. Come on.
Take it easy, Polly.
They're going to do anything. They're murdering everybody one by one.
You've done all this. Why did you give them power in the first place? Well, I could control it, you see. And then Janley got one of her men, Valmar, I think it was. Yes, and he rigged up a secret cable. It's carrying power directly from the colony supply. Where is it, Lesterson? Valmar's the only one who can answer that. Or the Daleks, of course. They know everything. Yes, you should ask the Daleks. Then we must find Valmar. Don't. You stay here and look after Polly. I'll go.
I made my way into the corridor and was greeted by one of the most horrendous sights of all my lives. Daleks were slaughtering both rebel and loyal guards without mercy. Carnage everywhere. Anger raged in me as I made my way through the piles of bodies. I had to find Valmar. The killing had to stop. I don't know how long I searched before I found him nursing the dead body of Janley. Nearby, Quinn quietly watched.
You'll have to leave her now, Valmar. She wasn't as bad as you think.
Valmar! There's the Dalek!
As a Dalek came into view, we threw ourselves to the floor and waited for the worst. But instead of the expected instant death, the creature glided by.
Where is the Dalek
happen, Valmar? She's dead. There's nothing you can do for her. The main cable's inside the capsule. But there's nothing you can do. There must be some way of cutting off the power.
What makes you think I want to do that? We need more time. I know. A diversion. Bragen's guards. We'll have to use them to keep the Daleks busy. You go to Bragen.
Section 1. Where's your report? Are you there, Section 1? Section 2. Section 2, why don't they answer? Can you hear me, Section 2? Section 3. Oh, why don't they answer? I'm there, Governor. Why don't they answer?
As the Daleks checked to see that everyone was dead, Quinn quietly made his way to the governor's house, while Valmar and I cautiously retraced our steps to Lesterson's laboratory. It was a gruesome and terrible journey.
Talk to the Daleks.
Inside the capsule, Ben heard a Dalek moving around.
Lesterson, what's in that cupboard? Nothing, it's quite empty. Well, come on, Polly, we'll be safer there, love.
At the governor's house, things were less secure, although the arrival of Quinn helped.
Do you hear me, Daleks? You will obey my orders.
Do you, Spagan?
The Daleks have stopped obeying your orders. Ah, guards! Dead. The Daleks have killed them. You still have your guard units in the interior. How long will it take them to get here?
That depends.
Well, get them.
Well, they'll be intercepted by the Daleks.
Exactly. It'll draw them away from here and give the Doctor a chance to deal with them.
I refuse to allow my guards to be sacrificed.
In that case, the Daleks will destroy everything on this colony. Guards, this is Bragen speaking. All units will report immediately to the capital. Be prepared to face the rebel Daleks.
There. Are you satisfied?
I hope it works.
Polly! Doctor, did you hear what Bragen said? Yes, I did. Well, I only hope the Daleks do go for the guards.
A lot of the Daleks went out just now.
Good, because we're going inside. Come on, Valmar.
We entered the capsule, and with Valmar's help, I found the junction box I wanted.
Give us that spare cable over there. Polly, keep watch at the door.
I removed a cable from the junction box and reconnected another Ben had passed to me. Instructing Valmar to return the box to the capsule, I unwound the new cable and ran it behind the workbench. Mounted on the wall nearby was an outlet for a high-ampage electrical supply.
You know what you're doing? Of course I do. Well, why can't you just take all the plugs out and cut the power off? Because I prefer to do it my way.
Look out!
Valmar rushed from the room as we ducked down behind the workbench.
Static power is being stored. We can dismantle the human electric system. The law of the Daleks is in force. Extermination of humans. Our cables have been moved.
And I could tell you who did it.
What were you doing in there?
I want to help you.
Why?
I am your servant.
We do not need humans now.
But you wouldn't kill me. I gave you life.
Yes, you gave us life.
And to show their gratitude, they killed the poor tortured soul. But there wasn't time for pity, as the creatures of hate were now moving towards Polly and Ben. Quickly, I snatched up the cable I had connected to the Dalek system and rammed it into the electrical outlet. the subsequent result was both interesting and most satisfying.
To it?
I don't know.
It seemed that your friend the Examiner was successful after all. Now, I shall restore law and order on this
Not
planet.
your law, Bragan. That's finished for good.
You'll obey me, or...
Your day is over, Bragan. No one will obey you now.
I'm still the governor, and you will...
Valma!
He was a murderer. Enough for guns. There's a lot of clearing up to be done. We will rebuild together. What is the extent of the damage?
Oh, I don't know if it's repairable. It's the whole electrical system.
You all right?
No, he's okay. The clock knocked himself out.
It was a miracle. How'd you do it?
What happened? What'd I do? You destroyed the Daleks. That's what you did.
No need to be modest about it.
Did I do that?
You know you did.
You used the power from the colony's electric supply, overfed it, and blew up their temporary static circuit. Well, didn't you?
Did I do all that?
You may have stopped the Daleks, but have you any idea of the damage you've done to the colony?
Oh, there was a blowback, was there?
A blowback? Our power supply has been destroyed. It'll be months before we can get things back to normal.
Valma!
That is unfortunate.
But did it have to be this way?
I did a lot of damage, did I?
Come on.
I think we'd better get out of here before they send us the bill.
Back in the Mercury Swamp.
Well, I mean, I didn't expect the brass bands to be playing, but I wouldn't have thought of thanking about anybody.
But Ben, think of all those poor people all killed.
Yeah, I know. But the doctor saved the colony from being completely wiped out. Yeah, and he was telling them all along, but would they listen?
Mind you, he wasn't very convincing when he was trying to explain it to Valmar and Quinn and everybody.
No, he wasn't, was he?
Doctor, you did know what you were doing, didn't you?
Well, some of the time, but I couldn't really say that. A quarter fool, a quarter clown, perhaps even a quarter genius. That is what my new regeneration had made me. There was, of course, that final quarter, the dark quarter, the quarter I would most enjoy discovering. As we walked on, we passed the remains of a damaged Dalek.
You needn't worry about them anymore, Doctor. Just a heap of old iron now.
But Ben was wrong about the Daleks. They would return. Such creatures of hate always return. The Power of the Daleks was written by David Whittaker. It was produced by Innes Lloyd and directed by Christopher Barry. The presenter was Tom Baker, and linking narration and cassette produced by Eric Saywood.